Good morning. This is your 10 a.m. daily weather briefing. Continuing to see sunny conditions out there this morning with some fairly light winds across the area and seeing our temperatures warming into the mid to upper 60s at this time. Overall, quiet weather expected as we move through the day today. No precipitation or lightning. It should be a fairly pleasant day with temperatures a few degrees above average. We'll see dry weather as we move through the first half of the week. And we'll see a few peppered chances of precipitation as we move through Wednesday and Thursday, with the next best chance of seeing some more widely scattered rain showers moving into the area as we get into the weekend. We'll take a look at the current surface analysis. High pressure is in control over the region. That's helping to keep things quiet. We're going to see that move off to the east-southeast as we move into tomorrow, and this next system well off to the west will track along the northern part of the country. It's going to bring some tighter pressure gradient into the area tomorrow, seeing some slightly breezy conditions, and then eventually these fronts will push through the area as we get into Wednesday, and that's going to bring a slight chance of a shower or even possibly a thunderstorm later in the day on Wednesday. Upper level winds this morning had some northerly to northeasterly winds in the lowest 6,000 feet, around 15 to 20 knots, getting up above that. Getting more of a northwesterly wind component with our peak wind this morning of 44 knots, 25,000 feet. Freezing level this morning was around 10,000 feet. We look at the current visible satellite, we see there's clear skies across the area and expecting that to remain the case as we move through the day today with just a few high clouds around. Take a look at the European model here as we see what we can expect for the next 7 days. Again, as mentioned, high pressure in control today. No precipitation or lightning expected. That continues through the day tomorrow, although that high pressure will move off to the southeast, and we start to see that tighter pressure gradient moving in, seeing some slightly breezy conditions. At this time, it does look like those peak winds will stay below that wind advisory criteria. Could see those trend up over the next 24 hours, but right now not expecting a wind advisory for Tuesday. Just dry conditions continuing. We'll see a slight breeze continue overnight into Wednesday, and then Wednesday is when the remnants of those boundaries with that system tracking north of the area will push through the area. Overall, does look like those boundaries will trend towards a drier solution as they approach. Still some disagreement with the modeling. The European model here, as you can see, brings some shower activity just south of the local area. GFS model a bit more bullish with bringing some showers through our area, so slight chance of seeing a shower or thunderstorm mainly later in the day Thursday into the evening time frame. And then we go overnight into Thursday. It does look mainly dry as we move through Thursday, but again, kind of some indication with some of the models that we could see maybe a slight chance of a shower later in the day, once again Thursday and into the evening time frame. We will see some onshore component to the wind that may suppress that off to the west, as you can see the European model kind of indicating here. The better chance of rain will start to move in as we go through the day on Friday. As you can see, a tight pressure gradient here with this next disturbance tracking off mainly to our north and bringing some frontal systems through the local area. Ahead of that, breezy conditions out of the southwest. Good chance of wind advisory on Friday at this time, the way things are looking. And then later in the day into the afternoon and continuing overnight into the evening, it does look like a likely chance of some showers and thunderstorms pushing through the area with that frontal boundary into the early morning hours of Saturday. Still some uncertainty as we go into Saturday. As you can see, European model does linger some showers around at least through the first part of the day. Some models indicating some showers lingering through the entirety of much of the day. So still some uncertainty there, but likely seeing some showers at least into the early morning hours of Saturday, and possibly a drying trend as we move through the day on Saturday with some slightly breezy winds out of the northwest behind that front. And then moving into Sunday, we will see things quiet down and become quite nice once again with high pressure building in control and seeing plenty of sun to end the weekend. So looking at the 24-hour weather chart for today, we do have green conditions expected over the next 24 hours with mostly sunny skies, just a chance of a few clouds at 25,000 feet as we move through the next 24 hours. We'll see our high temperature capping out around 70 degrees this afternoon, and winds will gradually turn more easterly as we get into the early afternoon, still remaining fairly light and more of a south-southeasterly wind as we get into the later afternoon. And that's when we could see a few peak gusts up around 15 knots, but generally seeing those winds sustained around 5 to 10 knots, and that will continue as we move through the overnight and into the early morning hours of Tuesday, where we continue with the mostly clear skies, low temperature cooling down to 51 degrees, and more of a southwesterly component to the wind as we get into the start of the day, with some fairly seasonable to seasonably mild conditions as we start the day on Tuesday. Terminal forecast is showing a few wind shifts as we move through the day today, but as mentioned, just a few clouds at 25,000 feet expected to move through the area as we move through the next 24 hours. Tides running normal at this time. Looking at the 7-day forecast, we'll see partly cloudy and slightly breezy conditions for Tuesday, with another mild day with a high of 74 degrees. Does look like we'll stay just below that wind advisory criteria. Could see that trend up as we move over the next 24 hours. And then as we move into Wednesday, even warmer day with a high of 80 degrees. And we do have about a 20% chance of that afternoon or evening shower or thunderstorm with the remnants of those fronts pushing through the area. That's going to help cool things down a bit, but still staying fairly seasonably warm for Thursday, with some additional clouds, partly to mostly cloudy. High of 72, we'll see a slight chance of that evening shower once again, a little less in the way of probabilities, with a 15% chance. And then moving into Fridays, when we'll start to see our next more widespread active weather moving through, with PM showers and thunderstorms becoming likely, looking at a 60% chance at this time. Breezy conditions with that system moving through as well, and once again that southwesterly wind component for Friday going to keep things on the warmer side too, with a high of 78 degrees. And then moving into Saturday, keeping a 30% chance of rain through the day on Saturday. Possibility of those showers lingering through the day. Should see most of it wrapping up early, but again, some models indicating that lingering activity. Otherwise, just mostly cloudy and possibly partly cloudy later in the day, with cooler conditions with a high of 72 degrees. And then fairly seasonably or slightly cooler than average as we move into Sunday, with mostly sunny and quiet conditions and a high of 67 to wrap out the weekend. That's going to conclude our 10 a.m. daily weather briefing. We'll be back again tomorrow at 8:15 and 10 a.m. Enjoy the rest of your day.